fans, because KTV is a Caitlin Clark fan. She's my favorite basketball player to watch, male or female. Point blank, period. Now she's calling us toxic for saying the obvious about the sabotage that was going on in this league and how this woman has been targeted since before she even stepped foot in it, all while Stephanie White wants to ignore the facts of what the other players in this league have done. From disrespecting fans,
Get ready for this, because the words that exploded from Stephanie White's mouth have sent shockwaves, literally plunging the WNBA into an absolute maelstrom of chaos. She didn't just casually comment, she openly called fans toxic. A direct, undeniable shot that countless people immediately interpreted as being aimed squarely at Caitlin Clark's incredibly devoted and ever-growing fan base. And let me tell you, that ignited nothing short of an inferno of outrage across social media and the entire basketball community. This wasn't some accidental slip-up or a careless misstep. No, this felt like a calculated, deliberate statement, and now fans are absolutely demanding answers. More importantly, they are vociferously calling for her immediate removal from her coaching position with the Indiana Fever. The entire league is reeling from this, grappling with the astonishing question of how a coach could so brazenly alienate the very audience, the passionate supporters who are undeniably driving its unprecedented, record-breaking growth. This unprecedented and frankly shocking attack on the very fan base that has single-handedly catapulted the WNBA into mainstream consciousness has sent seismic shockwaves through every single corner of professional women's basketball, sparking a firestorm of controversy that simply cannot be ignored.
Or the facts of what the other players in this league have done. From disrespecting fans, starting fake racial investigations, going on platform I'm gonna give you the facts that Stephanie White wanted to leave out. This is nasty work. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification, and hype the video. Let's get right into things on a Sunday. Let's get into it. So, we had this article here. Obviously, Stephanie White was recently on Sue Bird's podcast, where she...
Now it's crucial to understand that this isn't just an isolated incident that popped up out of nowhere. No, this is clearly the culmination of a deeply ingrained pattern of behavior. For months leading up to this, Stephanie White had been publicly and consistently downplaying Caitlin Clark's monumental significance to the team and the league, repeatedly and quite explicitly, stating that Kelsey Mitchell was, in her eyes, the team's main priority. This narrative, as you can imagine, clashed so sharply and so obviously with the undeniable reality that Clark's arrival literally single-handedly transformed not just the Fever's profile, but the entire league's viewership figures, sending them skyrocketing to unprecedented levels. Many insiders, those closest to the situation, quietly suggest that White was eventually forced and, let's be clear, pressured to acknowledge Clark's central and pivotal role. This felt less like a genuine heartfelt recognition and more like a reluctant concession, a desperate attempt at damage control. You see, the tension has been simmering beneath the surface for far too long, just waiting for a spark. And now, with this latest incredibly reckless verbal assault on the fan base, it has undeniably boiled over into a full-blown crisis.
Caitlin Clark is the reason for the boom in the WNBA, point blank, period. It's not because of no Angel Reese. It's not because of no Paige Bueckers. They had some of the lowest attendance for their games throughout the entire season. So I don't know why they keep trying to lump them in with Caitlin Clark. But whatever. It's hard to imagine the WNBA players would get vastly increased salaries they're going to receive as part of a ratified CBA, or at least their salaries wouldn't have increased to the same degree. Now, we know they wouldn't be asking for all this.
Where did these controversial comments actually originate? The transcript reveals that White's remarks stemmed from an appearance she made on Suburb's I View podcast, a pretty high-profile platform. While she was ostensibly discussing the WNBA's massive sudden growth, the very growth we just talked about, she declared, and I quote, "I like to change the toxicity around our league." Now, on the surface, just hearing that phrase in isolation, it sounds like a perfectly noble, even commendable goal, right? Who wouldn't want to reduce toxicity? But here's the critical distinction. The surrounding context of her comments, combined with the subsequent and immediate fan reactions, quickly painted a very different, far more problematic picture. Fans with a keen eye for what was really going on rapidly saw through what they perceived as a thinly veiled critique. They realized almost instantly that her definition of toxicity conveniently overlooked the blatant, well-documented actions and behaviors of certain players and even organizational shortcomings. Instead of addressing those internal issues, she appeared to be quite simply shifting blame solely and entirely onto the passionate supporters who frankly simply dared to speak up and voice their opinions.
Now, you are ignoring the things that the players have done. These players have gone on. Arike Ogunbowale was on ESPN during Caitlin Clark's rookie year, calling out fans saying, "We don't want you." We had people like Ryan Howard go at a post-game podium and disrespect A'ja Wilson fans because they showed up and cheered for A'ja Wilson at an Atlanta Dream game that was a home game for the Atlanta Dream. And she gets mad that people are cheering for A'ja Wilson at an Atlanta Dream game. So now hard-earned, hard-working.
And the hypocrisy in all of this, according to an overwhelming number of observers and fans, is absolutely staggering. While Stephanie White was out there slamming toxic fans with such conviction, she conveniently and quite noticeably ignored a litany of player behaviors that have without a doubt fueled negativity and controversy within the league for quite some time. We're not talking about minor squabbles here. We're talking about very public instances where players openly disrespected fans, where shocking accusations of fake racial investigations were initiated, and where public spats and rivalries played out on various social media platforms for everyone to see. These weren't just isolated whispers circulating in the locker room. No, these were high-profile, undeniable incidents that actively and quite significantly contributed to creating an already volatile and often unpleasant atmosphere around the league. Yet, conspicuously, these very actions seem to completely escape White's public condemnation, raising serious, legitimate questions about her true agenda and what she's really trying to accomplish. The double standard here, my friends, is not only glaring, it's frankly impossible for anyone with an objective view to ignore.
Honey, to go to a basketball game, can't cheer for who they want to cheer for. So she's mad that she was disrespecting fans for cheering for A'ja Wilson, but in the same breath, we had Kalia Copper of the Phoenix Mercury get mad and call out fans for booing DeWanna Bonner, who left the Indiana Fever, who was on the opposing Phoenix Mercury team when they went to play in Indiana. So fans can't cheer for an A'ja Wilson on a road game, but they also can't boo an opposing player coming into.
So this begs the crucial question, what exactly can fans do? Or better yet, what have fans done? Let's quickly rewind the clock to a time before Caitlin Clark even set foot on a WNBA court. Even back then, the league was already undeniably rife with internal politics and simmering frustrations. We had players like Angel Reese openly discussing and even championing the idea of playing only in alternative leagues like the much-talked-about Unrivaled League. This was, make no mistake, a very clear and intentional dig at the WNBA's existing structure and its perceived shortcomings. Then not long after, we saw players like Sada Sabali making bold statements, publicly demanding, "Pay us what you owe us." Even sporting protest shirts during the highly visible All-Star break.